All right. Good evening and welcome to the November 5th meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. This meeting is being held virtually via Zoom video conference and is also being broadcast by FCTV on cable channel 9. As this meeting is being recorded by Zoom and broadcast by FCTV, please be cognizant of what you say, how you say it, and what can be seen and heard in your background. We have a full complement. Oh, we don't. We're missing one commissioner tonight due to an illness, and we welcome a new one in. James McGrath, Jim, is joining us on the commission, and he's here tonight. All right. I'd like to remind the commissioners that for commenting, I will call on each one of you in turn. So please refrain from speaking over each other. Also, all votes are done by roll call. So when I call your name, please state your name and your vote for the record, even if you've made the motion or second. To our public attendees, at any time during this meeting, you may enter any comment or question via the chat function. At the appropriate time, they will be read into the record. If, as an attendee, you'd like to participate in a particular hearing, let us know via the chat function. Then at the appropriate time, you will be promoted into the hearing as a participant. When you are selected, you must have your video enabled and be succinct, respectful of others. Public comment will be limited to 3 minutes each. Regarding RDAs, under a request for determination of applicability, the applicant is asking the commission to determine if the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and/or the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw apply to their proposed project. A negative determination is that the provisions of the act and/or bylaw do not apply. Therefore, the project may proceed as proposed. A positive determination means the provisions of the act and/or bylaw do in fact apply and/or may require some conditions. Therefore, the project would require a notice of intent application. So as an applicant, you want to hear a negative determination. And for the benefit of all, anyone waiting for a particular hearing tonight, so that you're not waiting unnecessarily, the following hearings are expected to be continued. And Jen, correct me if I'm wrong with this, any of these. 14 Brigetti Lane, East Falmouth, requested a continuance. 202 Edgewater Drive East in East Falmouth, requested a continuance. Then we had the Seashell Community Association, 0 Davisville Road, also that under an enforcement order requested a continuance. Stephen Augusta, Oyster Shell Lane, East Falmouth, requested a continuance. And David and Marcy Barnes, 38 Squibnaucket Drive, East Falmouth, also requested a continuance. Did I miss any, Jen?
58 Westwood Road requested a late continuance today, Mr. Chairman.
That was the big one. 58 Westwood Road in North Falmouth requested a continuance also. So those will not be heard this evening. All right. So first up on the agenda is minutes of the October 8th, 2025 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I reviewed the minutes and I'd move their approval. Patton.
Bird, second.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Courtney. Any additions or questions in regard to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney?
Bird, aye.
Steve?
Patton, aye.
Ron?
Driscoll, aye.
David?
Kent, aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Jim, you can recuse yourself. You weren't even there, so I'm going to skip over you. And Robbins is an aye. So we're 6-1 with an abstention. Next is the October 22nd, 2025 meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I reviewed the minutes and I'd move their approval. Patton.
Bird, aye, second.
Again, thank you, Steve, and thank you, Courtney. Any other additions, questions regarding the minutes of the 22nd? Hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Jim, you'd be an abstention also. And Robbins is an aye, so 6-1 with one extension. All right. Request for a continuance under notice of intent. Stephen and Susan Algia, 14 Brigetti Lane, East Falmouth, Mass, for after-the-fact permission to reconstruct and enlarge a deck, to install associated mitigation plantings, and to vista prune according to FWR 1810B. Jen,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicants requested a continuance until November 12th, next week.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll,
Pat and
second.
okay, so we have a motion and a second to continue this hearing till November 12th. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Court,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous to continue to November 12th. Next up is Michael and Marnie Farrell, 202 Edgewater Drive, East Falmouth, Mass. LLC, 202 Edgewater Drive, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct a dock. Jen,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until November 12th. That's next week.
Bird, so move. And the reason?
Mr. Officer Martin still has not completed his investigation. This is being continued while MES is conducting an investigation on the project.
Okay.
Driscoll, second.
thanks, Ron. Thanks, Court. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. All right, so that is continued till November 11th. A request for continuance is under a notice of enforcement. Seashell Lane Community Association, Inc., 0 Davisville Road, map/parcel 40-11-013-000, East Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted clearing, cutting, and construction within the flood zone and within the buffer to a salt marsh. Jen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until December 10th. They have recently changed representatives, and we will be meeting with Tyler Gendreau out at the site. When are we
Okay.
meeting Tyler? We're meeting Tyler soon.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll, second.
Right. So we got a motion to continue until 12:10. Any other comments or questions? From the committee, hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, unanimous to continue this hearing until 12:10. Next is Stephen Augusta, 33 Oyster Shell Lane, East Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted removal of mitigation plantings and unpermitted installation of hardscapes within conservation jurisdiction. Jen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the property owner is requesting a continuance until December 3rd. There needs to be a revision to the plan. So,
Okay. Bird, so
Mr.
move.
Yeah, the representative already spoke to me about it and it's fine for the continuance.
Okay. Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to continue until 12:03. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I will call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous. Continue that hearing until 12:03. Next up is David and Marcy Barnes, 38. Oh, we've already continued this already, so I don't need to read it again. All right, so we're going to move on to.
Actually, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
you just mentioned it the first time. You haven't officially voted this continuance.
That's right. Okay. Oh, I got to do it. Sorry. David and Marcy Barnes, 38 Squibnocket, East Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted construction of retaining wall, steps, and a patio. Replacement of decking and alterations of a coastal bank. And yeah,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the property owners requested a continuance until December 3rd. Mr. Byrd, they have had some difficulty trying to find a surveyor to assist them through this process, but we do believe that they have contracted with someone.
Okay. I will so move.
Driscoll second.
all right. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'm going to call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, so it's unanimous to continue until 12:03. Thank you. Request for determination of applicability. Michael and Denise Lewandowski, 123 Birch Lane, North Falmouth, for permission to reconstruct the garage and install dry wells. Alyssa?
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an AE flood zone.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation for this project. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Okay. Hearing none, I'll call roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So unanimous to accept staff's recommendation. Next up is Andrew McWilliams, 231 Minot Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct an addition. Alyssa.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an AE flood zone.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to accept the staff's recommendations. Any other comments, questions from the commission? Okay, hearing none, I will call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So unanimous to accept staff's recommendations. Next up is Mark and Susan Loffer, 4 Whitman Road, Woods Hole, Mass, for permission to construct an addition. Alyssa.
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and a -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
We have a motion to accept and a second to accept staff's recommendation. Any other questions or comments from the commission? If none, I will call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, unanimous to accept staff's recommendation. Next up is Connor McLaughlin and Ryan J. McLaughlin, 110 Scranton Ave, from permission to construct a building.
Staff
Alyssa?
recommends a -3 under the state and -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll, second.
There we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation on 110 Scranton Ave. Any other comments or questions by the commission? Okay. Hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So it's unanimous to accept staff's recommendations. Next up, Scott Masilli, 60 Falmouth Heights Road, Falmouth, for permission to raise and rebuild, RAZE, and rebuild a single-family dwelling and extend an existing soil absorption system. Alyssa?
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an AE flood zone.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll, second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation. Any other comments or questions by the commission? Hearing none, I will call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robin is an aye. So it's unanimous to accept staff's recommendation on 60 Falmouth Heights Road. All right, next up is request for a hearing under a notice of intent. All hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. All right, so first up is 14 Brigetti Lane, but that has been continued, and I did read that earlier. So next up would be Frederick P. and Karen E. Collins, trustees. 16 Clay Path Nominee Trust, 16 Clay Path, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to replace the pilings, framing, decking on an existing deck. And it looks like we got Mike Borselli.
Yes,
Yes,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman, I've promoted Mike Borselli of Falmouth Engineering to present his project. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Jen. Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, for the record, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering, and I represent the applicant. I'm going to share my screen and show you my application. Mr. Collins owns a property at number 16 Clay Path. It's a residential lot with a house on it. It has frontage on Childs River. The wetlands resources of note are land under the ocean, land containing shellfish. There's a band of salt marsh. There's a gently sloping, low-profile, non-eroding coastal bank. Several years ago, an order of conditions was issued to build the house that's on the property. There were subsequent orders of conditions related to the dock. The existing dock is fully permitted and licensed through DEP. The application before you tonight is a request to maintain by repairing and replacement of the pilings and the decking and the structural members. Everything's rather old, in excess of 20 to 25 years old. The pilings are just not holding up, and the applicant wants to basically maintain the structure in its present configuration Same pile locations, same size, everything will be identical. The dock contractor is John Hanson. He has retained a barge and scheduled a barge for later in November if this project is issued an order of conditions. All the work is proposed to be from the barge. There may be some foot traffic and access over the existing path to do some of the work on the framing and redecking. Your staff provided a staff report and outlined the project, and there were some comments, some of which I expected, and I'll address. When I first met with the applicant, I took a look at the aerial photos and also the site conditions and the previously approved plans and discovered a couple things. First, there was a float on the dock along the side that was not permitted. That clearly shows up on the aerial photos. I advised the property owner that that could not be there. It was not approved, and it was more dock area than the commission would allow. It was in water that was too shallow, so that he listened and removed that. I would expect it to be a condition that can't return, and hopefully he listens and we don't have to monitor that. But he is fully aware that he cannot have the float. In addition, there was a condition on the dock approval that only one boat could tie at the dock, and the expectation was that it would tie on the T, which is why you like T's. I observed two other boats tied alongside. Again, the applicant was informed that he had a condition that wouldn't allow for more than one boat. He informed me that he was trying to help out some neighbors, but he understood and he would no longer allow any other boats to tie to his dock. Again, I'm hoping that doesn't have to be enforced. I did make it clear to him that that would probably be monitored, and hopefully he listens. I can't control beyond that, but he heard the message loud and clear. And finally, there was some comments related to some pruning that's occurred. Your staff noticed that it looked like there was some unpermitted pruning in the buffer, and says that must stop, and that in order to maintain that the applicant should apply for a vista corridor. So we will in the future submit a new application to you requesting a vista corridor be maintained. Finally, there's some stepping stones, I guess, that lead from the steps down to the dock. I'm highlighting those with my mouse. Staff says they need to be mitigated or removed. There really isn't any places to mitigate, so I'm advising my client to remove those stepping stones. And I'm hoping you can make that a condition, and certainly there would be no compliance if he doesn't address that. I would also think there'd be no compliance if he doesn't proceed with a request for the vista pruning. But we're hoping that you can review this tonight and that the hearing can close so that the barge doesn't have to be rescheduled. I think that sums it up. I'm happy to take questions.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Mike, did you address the mitigation? Thank you for addressing all of the staff's points. Did you address the mitigation, the outstanding mitigation that there might be some missing?
Yeah, I did. Well, I alluded to it. I would hope that we could go on the site and work that out with you or Alyssa, and make sure that that's corrected before a compliance on the work before we're proposing tonight, before compliance can be issued. It seems like some of the edges of the buffer might have been trimmed a little bit more than they should have. But I think it's something we could work out with you and Alyssa, and I'm hoping you can make it a condition.
And the gravel to be removed because there's no room to mitigate for that as well. Is your client aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. I think we talked about this, Mr. Chair. We can condition a date certain, Mike, that if, we'll go out there with you and if there's missing mitigation, you'll probably need to go out and compare the two plans. So we'll probably need a revised plan, but we can condition that.
Okay. Yep. Happy to
Okay.
do that. Mm-hmm.
And we'll do it by a date certain.
Okay.
Good deal. Good deal. Thanks, Jen.
No
Alyssa,
problem.
did you have anything?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Courtney, why don't you
I
read
have no comments. Oh, yes, I do. Scope of work, you're gonna, primary goal is to replace the piles. Are you gonna essentially tear the deck down to nothing and then rebuild the whole thing?
Yes. It's hard to just replace pile by pile. So the most efficient way to do it is just to disassemble the framing and the decking, replace the pilings, and then rebuild. It's if you're going to go through the effort of replacing the pilings, it makes sense to replace the framing and the decking.
Yeah, no, yeah, understood. And you're replacing in kind, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Same width, etc.
no other questions.
Thanks, Court. Steve,
No questions. Thank you, sir.
Ron?
Oh, good work and working to getting this together. Looks like a good project. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. David?
Just one quick question, Mike. These are the smaller piles close to shore. The larger ones out near the float, they're going to remain, correct?
Yes. The plan identifies which pilings and decking is going to be replaced. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So for some reason, that run of green heart pilings didn't hold up. The outer part are a different vintage, and they're fine.
Thank you. That's it.
Thanks, Dave. Bill?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Jim?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'm good. Okay. So Jen, we can close this. You're good with that, and we can condition a plan and anything else.
Yeah, we'll work with Mike. We'll draft an order of conditions. Yeah, we'll close the hearings and then make recommendations to the board when you vote about meeting with Mike by a date certain, having the stepping stones and gravel removed by a date certain, and then getting Mike to do a revised plan. Let's determine if more mitigation is needed, if necessary, date certain.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mike, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Right.
So I will make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to close the hearing and take it under advisement. Is there anything in chat for us, Jen, from the public?
Nothing in the chat pertaining to this project, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions by the commission? Members, hearing none, I will call the roll. Courtney?
Bird eye.
Steve?
Patton, aye.
Ron?
Driscoll, aye.
David?
Can't I?
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Jim?
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye, so it's unanimous to close the hearing. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And it looks like you're with us on the next one here, right?
Yes.
Okay. James and Janice Healy, trustees, the Healy 2020 Living Trust, 295 Edgewater Drive, West, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to replace piles, framing, and decking, and to reconstruct the access stairs on an existing dock. Jen.
Mike Boriselli is with us from Falmouth Engineering to present this project.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman and the members of the commission. I represent the applicant, James and Janice Healy. This is almost a virtual twin of the last application. The property in question is 295 Eel Pond. There's an existing single-family dwelling on the property that the commission relatively recently approved and issued an order of conditions on. There was an existing licensed and fully permitted, there is an existing licensed and fully permitted pier on this property. The same wetland resources of note exist: land under the ocean, land containing shellfish. There's a band of salt marsh. There's a non-eroding coastal bank. The subtle difference between this application and the last one is that the dock is older. There's several smaller diameter creosote piles spaced tighter together. The same contractor, John Hansen, will do the work. We met on site and we're proposing to remove all of the creosote pilings and replace them with Greenheart non-CCA treated pilings and space them out further so that we can reduce the number of pilings from 16 8-inch diameter to 10 10-inch pilings. The framing and decking is also proposed to be removed. If you've been to the site, you noticed that there is a I'm going to share my screen. If you've been to the site, you would have noticed this stairway that leads down the coastal bank to the dock. And there's two lateral access stairs that were a requirement for public access. We met with the contractor and we think there's an opportunity to provide better public access, and by that I mean when this is rebuilt, we're proposing to raise by that RAISE a portion of the pier so that there's public access beneath instead of having to walk up and over the dock. So if we elevate the walkway, there'll be less stairs from the top down and there'll be more separation from the bottom, and public access can be gained under instead of over. And then the walkway would slope back down to a pier height at the end where the boat ties. This dock was built a long time ago, and we're noticing that some of these older docks that were built to be as close to the water surface as possible on some of the king tides are starting to get flooded. So as part of this rebuild in the same footprint, we're hoping to raise the elevation of that pier and a little bit. I'm talking like a foot, just to keep it so that it doesn't get flooded during those king tides. It's a rare occasion, but it happens maybe 2 or 3 times a year, depending on the year and the tides. So again, this is the same application type. It's within the same footprint. We're improving things by getting rid of the creosote piles. We're going to provide better public access, and hopefully the dock is a little bit more resilient. There were some staff comments. When the house was approved, there was a requirement for 4 trees to be installed, which they were, but I guess we didn't show them on the plan, so staff asked us to show them on the plan for record, which we're happy to do. There were also 2 mitigation areas that were required for the house rebuild, and Alyssa noticed some of the mitigation planting looked like it wasn't surviving, and there's a request that the plants that had died off be replaced. of course, the applicant's more than happy to do that. And we would expect that no COC would be issued unless those two comments are addressed. And we're hopeful that you can close this hearing tonight. Same contractor, same tentative barge schedule. They'll be done virtually one after the other, assuming we receive a favorable order of conditions from you tonight. And I'm happy to take questions.
All right, Mike, thank you. Jen?
Had no questions until Mike said he was raising the structure. In your application, Mike, you told us you were reconstructing the access stairs. Now, tonight's presentation, you're not redoing the access stairs, and you never provided us a cross section or kind of a profile telling us you were going to raise the structure.
Well, the structure's being raised. I'll share my screen again.
As in the height raised.
Yeah, the structure's going to be raised about a foot.
Okay, next time, please put that in your application because it does not mention it at all. And it
Okay.
mentions that you're reconstructing the access stairs.
Right. Just for clarity, the plan does show that this set of stairs is to be removed because it's no longer necessary. I might not have been explicit in the narrative, but we're going to basically rebuild in the same place and just raise the dock level a little bit.
Okay, so next time, Mike, please put that because you do have reconstruct stairs. You have an arrow going to the southern
Right.
set of stairs and not the northern set of stairs.
Right. They're proposed to be removed because now public access will be underneath.
But you're still going to reconstruct the southern set of stairs.
Just so the applicant can get down to the beach there. There's a little sandy beach.
It's a little sandy beach because there's access stairs that destroyed the salt marsh.
That may be. I don't know.
Okay, so again, Mike, it's we had no questions until you started talking about raising the structure, which I don't mind, but just next time be a little bit more specific, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
And then again, Mr. Chairman, we can work with Mike and the applicant to repair the missing mitigation.
Very good. Alyssa, do you have anything?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll start with Steve this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So staff, you're comfortable with a revised plan?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Then I have no other questions.
All right. Ron,
No, I'm all set. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
David,
I'm all set.
Bill,
No questions here.
and Jim.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I got nothing for him either. Court.
No questions.
All right. It looks like we can close this. So can I get a motion?
We'll move to close the hearing and take it under advisement. Subject to the submission of revised plans showing the cross section of the elevated deck.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll. Any other comments, questions from the commission? Jen, anything in chat?
Nothing in chat regarding this project, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. Then we will call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Penta.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So it's unanimous to close this hearing and take it under advisement. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is Teresa Lockwood, 71 T-Ticket Path, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to install restoration plantings. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we are continuing with the Mike Borselli show this evening, so he is still with us to present his next project.
Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the commission, again, Mike Borselli representing the applicant. I'm sharing my screen. The applicant, Teresa Lockwood, recently sold the property to another owner. Teresa is the daughter of Mr. Lockwood, who originally developed this property and has passed away. There were two outstanding orders of conditions that were discovered at the time of title review. One was related to the dock, which was built in the mid-2000s. We actually were the engineering firm at the time that applied for the permission to build it. An order of conditions was issued. An older order to build the house was also issued. Another engineering company handled that. As is sometimes happening, not a lot, but some folks just don't seem to recall or read their documents, and they never contacted the engineer, either my firm or the previous engineer for the house, to proceed with the compliance work. So it came up at the time of the sale. So we applied for the dock compliance, and it was reviewed by your staff really quickly and efficiently, and that CO, certificate of compliance, was issued. But the older house one, there were some issues that needed to be addressed, and that's why we're here tonight. It was mainly addressing some mitigation requirements. This is for an order back from, I think, maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember exactly. But when it became aware of the seller, we contacted your staff. We met on site. We reviewed things with Jen and Alyssa. They gave us recommendations. Teresa Lockwood hired Raposa Landscaping, who then also met with staff and worked out details, and the resulting plan shows some shaded green areas where some proposed mitigation for the original house from way back when it's mitigation related to that, to fill in some of the holes in bare spots in a really heavily wooded but thin understory buffer. So the plan has shaded areas, and it identifies in a plant legend the plant material that was recommended after Paul Raposa met with your staff, and it identifies the plants and the spacing and the location. The staff report is pretty light. It has one line on it. It says staff has been working with the applicant. So I'll take that as a positive staff report, and I have nothing more to add, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thanks, Mike. And Jen.
No comments, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mike.
Alyssa?
No comments. Thank you.
Very good. Ron, we'll start with you this time.
All right, nice job putting it under the threat of not closing. It was good work for everybody. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank
you. Dave?
Basically a question for Alyssa, perhaps, or Jen. I've never seen mitigation under trees like this. Were special plants chosen to handle the shade?
Yeah, just ones that were shade tolerant. The original order back in the day, the backyard was more forested. Somehow the understory has disappeared. So this is just to restore the backyard to a more forested condition. Raposa Landscaping did choose the plants, and we're comfortable with them.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Bill?
No questions.
Jim?
No questions.
Okay, no questions. Courtney,
Nice project, no questions.
Steve?
No questions. Thank you, sir.
All right. Jen, anything in the chat?
Nothing in the chat, Mr. Chairman.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to close the hearing, take it under advisement. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Okay, hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So it's unanimous to close the hearing, take it under advisement.
Thank you.
And Mike. All right. Next up is Bywater Realty Trust 32 Deal End Place, East Falmouth, Mass. For permission to construct a single family dwelling with an attached garage and deck, install a Title V sewage disposal system, and conduct minor grading. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering is still with us. Presenting, I think this is your last project of the night, Mike.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Mike, you got it, buddy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, for the record, Mike Borselli representing the applicant, Bywater Trust. I'm going to share my screen. In addition, if he's not on already, he will be on momentarily. Cameron Lawson from ECR.
Do you want me to promote Cameron up, Mike? He's here.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
event there's questions, Cameron's here.
Okay.
I'm hoping we satisfied the concerns of staff. I'm going to go through the project. The project is located at number 32 Deolinda Place. It's a vacant lot within a residential subdivision. It's one of only a few, maybe 2 or 3 at most, undeveloped lots in the subdivision that was developed through the 90s and into the 2000s. Directly next door is a house that was constructed. You can see the edges of it. This is at the very end of the Linda Place. Adjacent to it is an open space. The lot contains 35,000 square feet. It's a wooded lot. On the southern boundary is a ditch that connects from pond number 14, is it? And it flows through to Flax Pond. The wetland resources were delineated and identified by ECR as an intermittent stream and an edge of an inland bank. The flags for the inland bank was surveyed by us and shown on the plan as this green line. So you have buffer regulations at your regulation FWR 10.18, and they outline certain no disturbance buffer zones. In this case, the inland bank no disturbance buffer zone width is 75 feet. We're showing that with a green dashed line, and then there's a 25-foot outer buffer zone. Your regulations say that the B zone can be altered, but if it's unaltered, the no disturbance zone shall remain not disturbed. So the property was designed to meet those regulations. There's a house shown as far as possible from the wetland resources. It is set back at the minimum setback or just over the minimum setback of 25 feet from the front yard setback. It has a slightly sloping topography, so it lends itself to a walkout level on the basement level. So the grading has been shown to be minimized to just ease the grade around both sides of the house. There's a deck across the back of the house. There'll be some very minor yard areas up in and around the edges of the house. And then there's a proposal for a leaching field for the septic system that will serve the house. The tanks for the septic system are between the house and the road. This septic system includes a denitrifying unit, a nitro by clean too, so there'll be significant removal of nitrogen as part of this septic system. We're showing dry wells to contain roof runoff. And I think that sums up the proposal. There were some staff comments, limited staff comments. They requested that we show trees within 10 feet of the no disturbance zone A from the inland banks. And that's a reasonable request, just to make sure that there are inventoried and that there's no trees that are cut in and around the edge of the no disturbance zone boundary. And then there was a comment about the ownership. We know that the owner is Joseph and Melanie Bancheri. The applicant is Bywater Trust. We identify them as the applicant in the application and on the plan. We left the ownership part of the application blank. We can correct that and add the owner to the application. This is there's a relationship between Bywater Trust and the owners, as you might expect. So we can submit that revised page of the form. One other item that came up during discussion with staff, there were some questions about whether or not the Rivers Act applied here. We've replied and responded through my company and ECR and demonstrated that the Rivers Act does not apply here because it's an intermittent stream, and watershed is less than a half square mile that serves this intermittent stream. And Cameron Larson is here if there's other questions on that. That sums up my application and my presentation, and I'm here to answer questions along with Cameron.
All right, Mike, thank you. Jen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mike, we're gonna need a written permission from the property owner. It's clearly stated in our rights in the Wetlands Protection Act. If the applicant is not the property owner, then we need clear permission from the property owner. So we're gonna need some sort of letter from them.
Sure, you want to speak to that, George? George Botello, who's a member of the Bywater Trust, is here. We're happy to give you that. I just wanted him to speak that this is his sister's property. They're part of Bywater Trust, and that I can get you the authorization. I'm their agent. I have permission to sign things for them. But I'm happy.
Okay, but that's fine. But the Wetlands Protection Act doesn't want your signature. They want the property owner's signature. So I mean, we just need a statement from them saying that it's okay for Bywater
Trust. Yep.
Bywater Trust to work. Hello, George. How are you? We were wondering who the creepy guy was behind Mike. I kind of figured it was you. I need something from your family member, George. Okay.
That won't be a problem.
Okay, great. If you guys can get that to me sooner than later, that would be great. And that way we can issue that order of conditions for you.
Will do.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
That's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for addressing the trees, Mike. So we'll look for a revised plan from you on that. And we looked over Cameron's email, and I don't think we have any questions on that.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Melissa, you got anything?
Not at this time. Thank you.
David, why don't you start us off?
A couple questions, Mike. How close will the trees behind the house be to the deck? Because it's a very treed lot.
I'm gonna share my screen again to answer your question. So I'm zooming in to make it a little easier to see. This green line is the boundary of the no disturbance zone. We cannot disturb in any way anything on this side of the green line. So this line with the circles and the dots is where the limit of work the hay bale silt fence line will be to make it clear that there'll be no alteration of the no disturbance zone. So between the deck at the closest point in the limit of work is about 15 feet or so. This is the only like yard area they'll have. So the staff wanted us to survey the trees within 10, I think on this side, I think is what you want.
Yes.
Just to make sure that they're inventoried before construction starts and they don't somehow disappear during construction.
So a lot of that area between the 75 and the extra 25 will be lawn?
Lawn or landscape or mulch areas, it hasn't really been determined yet.
Okay, all right.
But it would certainly be within your specifications for any lawn areas.
And staff is I guess, Alyssa, you know all about that, of course, right?
Yeah, as long as the zone A is fully vegetated, they can clear the zone B according to your regs.
Just one last question. I do a lot of fishing in Pond 14. I was surprised to hear there's a second outlet. I talked to a neighbor about it when I was going out, and I said, is that stream intermittent? And he didn't think so. I mean, Pond 14 doesn't go up and down too much. I know that. I don't know if it's important whether that is intermittent or not, but I'm wondering if that's important, and do we know if it's intermittent or not?
ECR submitted information that indicates it's intermittent and not perennial.
Yeah, Dave, there's very, very specific criteria that have to be met. That's why we questioned it as well. And it comes down to the size of the watershed that's approximated in this area, and it just doesn't quite meet the conditions to be considered perennial. So though it flows quite frequently, you know, they had to draw the line somewhere in the regulations, so it's intermittent.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dave. Bill?
No comments.
Jim?
No comments.
All right. Court?
No comments.
Steve?
Also no comments. Thank you.
Ron?
No comments. Good luck with the project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Anything in the chat, Jen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. There's a chat by Loretta Garrison that states, Bywater Trust development was approved in 1984 by the planning board, requiring the trust to transfer the stream to the town. It never did. Trust still owns stream. So as you saw on the plan, there is a little skinny parcel. Ms. Garrison, that would probably need to be taken up with the planning board. It's outside of ownership of that parcel is going to be outside of the commission's jurisdiction. So I would contact Jed Cornick, the town planner.
That's it, Jen?
That's the only chat, Mr. Chairman, regarding this project.
Thank you. Alyssa, do you have anything?
Not at this time. Thank you.
All right. Start off with Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Any comments or questions?
Oh, I thought we already did that. No.
Yeah, we we did. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's all good.
But you're very important, Bill.
Yeah. Very
Doubly
important.
important.
Bill. Don't forget that.
I mean, I do love tracing through the woods, looking for
that's
stakes
fun.
and trying to picture how a house will look.
You can second stuff too, you guys. Don't forget.
I got a couple of ticks lately. I got a couple of ticks out of it, but
Yeah, I had to do a quick check down
Not
after
recording you
that.
break you. Okay, so there was no other comments or questions from the commission. I'm going to go ahead and call a roll to close the hearing, take it under advisement. Jen, you good with that?
I'm good.
All right. So can I get a motion?
Move to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Close the hearing, take it under advisement. I'm gonna call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Dent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Tim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So it's unanimous to close the hearing, take it under advisement. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Have a
Mr.
good
Chairman,
evening.
there was a late chat that just popped in regarding this. I'm just going to answer it. The question is just one house will be built. Sorry, I am late. One house on this particular lot is being proposed. You can contact our office tomorrow morning for a copy of the plan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem.
Thank you all.
Glad you caught it.
Night, Mike. Night, George.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Mike.
Take care.
All right, very good. Continued request for a hearing on a notice of intent. 202 Edgewater Drive, I already called. I read that one. Next is Robert and Kara Martin, trustees, 58 Westwood Road, LLC, 58 Westwood Road, North Falmouth, Mass, for permission to conduct invasive species removal and install restoration plantings. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that continuance came in late today, but they have requested a continuance, until December 10th.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Any other comments, questions from the commission? So we got a motion to continue until December 10th. If there's nothing else, I will call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
David,
Dent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is a aye, so that's unanimous to continue until December 10th. Next up is Rudolph A. Vandershoot, Scoot, 445 Curry Roads, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to conduct tree removal and minor grading, install a rain garden, and construct a raised terrace. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the application has been withdrawn.
All right, so we don't need a vote or anything like that on that.
Yep.
Okay, so we're moving on. Continued request to amend an existing order of conditions. Robert and Natalie Culgen, 130 Fay Road, Falmouth, Mass. Request to amend an order of conditions for Mass DEP 25-4528 to permit increase in structure and driveway after the fact and install mitigation plantings. And looks like we got Tom.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I've promoted Tom Punker from VSS Design to present his continued project. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening. How are you all doing?
Good, Tom.
Yeah, we've been here a couple of times, had some continuances. After the last time I met with Jen before she left on vacation, and we weren't, both of us weren't quite sure how I should proceed with this. And then after she came back, I had a plan, and I talked with Alyssa, and that's what's filed now. And if I may, I'll put our plan up and get into it. Hold on one second. I have my screen. Okay. Okay, I think I have it now. You see our plan here?
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
yes.
Got it.
Got it. Got it. Okay, this is our full plan. So last time I was up, there was and I explained this to Alyssa. There was another errant setback line coming through here somewhere. So I have a zone B. Trying to get to the the existing coastal bank, for the pre-existing coastal bank was shown by, this is not the primary. The primary bank is out here on Vineyard Sound, out here. And the house, you can see this is the house that used to be here with this outline, and now we're back here. And then there was this coastal bank because the flood zone wraps around behind this whole ridge land, and there's a coastal bank that comes across here and ended up here. You see see what used to be a cottage on the property back here, and this coastal bank was a slope. You can see there's stairs. There were stairs in the cottage. Right here. So this coastal bank was actually up against the old cottage on the site, which was right here. And this coastal bank, as I had interpreted it when we first filed the plan, this end of the coastal bank, the western end of the coastal bank, is not within 100 feet of another resource area. And so the zone B for this coastal bank is up here. But I was saying there is no zone A for this coastal bank because it's more than 100 feet away from another resource area. Just explaining where these things came from. And the flood zone, you can see, came up onto the property, into the courtyard of the cottage was right here. A tennis court was down here, and this flood zone came up and around sort of into that courtyard of the cottage. And so there was one requirement to show all of these stepping stones. So this is a crushed stone surface through here. This is a zone B of coastal bank, and it does have an A zone. So anything in here is what I was considering to be the gravel, which is not driveway. So I'm considering that it's pervious, but it was at least told to me that the stepping stones must be shown. And so we did that. There are 56 square feet of stepping stones. I don't know why it keeps moving like that. Get back. 58 square feet of stepping stones through here, through the zone, from this zone A back through the zone B. And as I said, this zone B, through my interpretation, does not have a zone A, so there's no mitigation required for any gravel surface in here, whether it's pervious or impervious. And it actually is where the original driveway was, right here, and it just stayed that way. This is all in zone B that does require mitigation, and all this driveway area, it's currently up to here. So this application is actually for after the fact permission to install this driveway. And so the driveway now comes to this line right here. And so we were counting it all as impervious, and we're taking out 8 feet wide. I had talked with Jen before she left about possibly taking out 10 feet wide, which would have put that 10 feet up to this little angle right here. But I got some request from the the owner's representative, to make it only 8 feet wide. There's the circular area here is the approved location of the driveway. Jen was concerned that this extra, be it 10 feet or 8 feet, was allowing more driveway surface on the coastal bank than what was approved. So it's the 8 feet cuts it off right at the edge of where it was approved. And taking off 8 feet wide by this length will remove 358 square feet of driveway surface. These small purple numbers are other numbers of, there's a 237 square feet of driveway through here, and that also includes up in this location. There's a 99 square foot reduction here because the driveway was permitted out to this curve, but now it's at this straight line. There's minus 17 square feet. There's 100 square feet more of walkway here. And this was all counted as driveway, but that's 17 square feet being removed. That's a little planting bed. This area stayed the same as we had before with the numbers, the increase in mitigation, the increase in coverage rather. And so we had added the 58 square feet there. We also added these stepping stones, which are actually old foundation, granite foundation blocks, but there's still coverage. We added 13 square feet in Zone A, which is here, and 10 square feet in Zone B, which is here. And so with the zoom out, somewhere I have the calculations. The current calculations here. Take a while to go through it, but then we came up with 1,524 square feet of mitigation to be planted. And we have done that here. Jen wanted some of the, I don't know if it's enough, but I took some of the mitigation out from here and pulled it closer, more into the lawn. Took it away from underneath these pine trees. And one more pine tree has to be replaced in this location. It's dead. And then the other mitigation planting is in here. I talked with Alyssa. She felt that as far as where the mitigation is planted would be okay. This is all in Zone A. And theory being that there's mitigation across here and mitigation here, and that if they have this area, which has always been lawn, and if they can maintain it as lawn up to this point, they'll have a place where they can stand closer and will not be, let's say, enticed to do any more trimming. This older mitigation is at the top's cut off. They've done some shearing here, but they'll have to stop that. But if this were planted, then there might be a desire to have more cutting done, but leaving this open will maybe reduce that desire, and they'll have to stop cutting this and plant this. So that's what I've got at this time. I will take this down and take questions and comments.
Okay, Tom, thank you.
Yeah.
Jen?
I don't think I have any comments at this time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Thank you, Tom, for working on this.
All right, Jen. Alyssa?
No comments, thank you.
Okay. Bill? Bill?
He's muted.
He's muted.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, sorry, my cursor was not just working. I don't have any comments at this time. Thank you.
Thanks. Jim?
No comments at this time.
All right, Court?
What's being proposed here is what is consistent with what we allowed on the neighboring property? It is, okay. Thank you. No questions.
All right, thanks, Court. Steve?
I just want to thank Tom and the staff for working this out. This is a nice property. Thank you.
Ron?
Yeah, I also, a couple things. One, I want to thank everyone for doing all those calculations and hard work. It's a lot of detail involved, and it's been a couple of different permutations. I had one proposal. Some people have probably already heard me do it, but Tom, I don't know if everyone was passed by you. That southwest corner of the property where the mitigation's going in
So,
is there, and also in light of that, the neighbor, couple of hearings ago, just complained about the water problems, water issue coming from the Culgan's property to their property and rotting their timber. Is there any way we could move that mitigation from the A zone there back to the B zone by their property? And I know the A zone has to be fully vegetated before you can do that, but if it makes sense for a couple of different neighbors to move it back away from that corner, could we do that?
you're talking taking it from the, you said southwest, but the corner on the primary coastal bank. Oh,
Yeah.
on one, yeah, we had a possible, I think your administrator, I had talked with her about putting mitigation back there, and I think it could make sense in that, but she felt it wouldn't be the best as far as the regulations go. And we also discussed how it would be difficult, and we had the hearing a couple before this, it got withdrawn. That was my hearing, and there was the same comments about figuring out which kind of plants to plant in there, because on those few times when it would be flooded, it could have bad effect on otherwise dry woodland type shrubs. This is always, I mean, the slope going down here has always been a slope going down,
Right.
and from some, I don't know that it has or hasn't been increased, but I know that at times there's always been some puddles there, but I can't say if it's gotten worse or not. We're not sure that would have planting in that low area, I think would be hard just because of the choice of plants, and because Jen had said that it just wouldn't align with the regulations.
It doesn't align with the regs, and if we did do it, Ron, it would, as I think Alyssa and I explained to you, it's going to be hard to get a plant palette down there. If it was done, it could, it could be conditioned that if it failed, it would need to be moved back up the slope. That's going to be up to the commission. It is going to be hard to get the right species down there. If all of a sudden it has a ton of water and then it's dry, ton of water and dry, it's going to stress the plants. But if the commission wants to entertain that, we would have to condition it that if it did fail, or a percentage of the plants did fail, that they would just need to be relocated to where Tom's showing now. I mean, that's a possibility.
I could say that they're open to it, and they would like to put the plants over there rather than on the ocean side. So I think if that was something you wanted to entertain, we could take a look at it. But currently, this is what I've done with the your staff advice.
Yeah, okay. No, thank you. I just wanted to bring it up, and we can discuss it later. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah.
All set, Ron?
All set.
Dave?
A couple times this conversation, we mentioned that planting down in that lower area would be against regulations. Can someone explain that a little bit?
Because all your mitigation needs to be planted within your zone A or
Oh,
closest to the resource area and not in zone B, because you tend to allow clearing in zone B. So the mitigation's protected in the zone A. But again, if it's something the board wanted to maintain, we could condition it.
condition, right, I got you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Dave. Jen, anything in the chat?
Not regarding this project, Mr. Oh, wait. There's nothing in the chat, but Mr. Gates has his hand raised. Mr. Gates is the property owner to the south. I'm going to promote him if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Not at all.
He addressed the board the last time.
Okay.
Mr. Gates, you'll need to turn your camera on and your audio on so you can address the board.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Mr. Gates, you got the floor.
Thank you. I'm trying my video. Oh, there we
There
go.
you go, Mr. Gates.
Thank you for allowing me in. I'm curious as to whether it's within the Conservation Commission's mandate to deal with water runoff. And there's I understand you're looking at mitigation planting and the success of them, and that makes a lot of sense. But will that stippled area where the driveway is being pushed back 8 feet, Mr. Bunker, will that allow more soak away of water from the top of the hill there?
It would be restored with lawn. Frankly, I think that the gravel surface, at least in light rains, the gravel surface would probably take more water in. But this will be restored with lawn, and it will be level as it is now and not sloping. So it would, or it could even be a slight raised berm to ensure that no water would run from the parking area down the hill toward your lot at the bottom of the hill.
Okay, I think the berm sounds like an interesting concept. Do you know what a French drain is? You must know.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether some gravel path to take water and not allow it to come rushing down the hill would benefit the situation.
Well, I think if you're talking about a drain in that area, then I think a grassy berm, if you're talking about keeping water from the parking area to come down the hill, then I think just a slightly raised berm would do the trick. A drain, any kind of underground drain can fail. Courtney always says that at hearings, but it could fail, and just I don't want to really call it a dike, but a slight berm in the grade right there would prevent water from running off of the parking toward your property.
Be much more successful than a dry well or something like that. Understood.
Yes.
Thank you. I have nothing further to add other than to thank the commission for doing what they do. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you, Mr. Gates.
Thank you, Mr. Gates.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Court.
Yeah, following up on this, I mean, I don't know whether it's a bylaw or whether it's something the building department enforces, but regardless of whether it's conservation jurisdiction or not, any lot owner is required to, in their drainage designs, to prevent their water from flowing onto a neighbor's lot. And so that needs to be, Tom, that needs to be engineered so that doesn't happen.
Well, I think it's every property owner should not allow the amount of water to increase flowing off the
whatever.
property. There's always been a hill there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, there's that, whether some flows off of the former tennis court into that area or some flows from whatever other places. There's always been hills going in that direction. So I don't know how much water. I'm sure it had puddles at times before this house was done, but I can't say for sure.
If I might, the area in question that gets flooded has historically been a garden. And when my grandmother owned the 131 Fay Road, and thereafter, when my cousins inherited it, we had a joint garden down there, and it did not flood. It was a rose garden under my mother, and roses don't like to get their feet that soggy. So I have to say the first time we documented the floods was during construction of the present house at 131.
133, yeah.
Sorry, at 133, yes. Yeah. My mistake.
All right. Court, are you all set?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see the problem solved. I mean, I'm sympathetic to Mr. Gates, and that there shouldn't be runoff from 133 onto his property. So how that's engineered, I think that should be done. I would like to see a satisfactory drainage plan submitted prior to our either prior to our closing or as a condition to close.
Okay. Dave, I see you got your hand up.
Yeah. It seems to me the water is collecting on the property of 133. I really haven't seen it defined where it's going over into the next property. That area down there at the bottom of the hill is part of 133, correct?
The very bottom of it is on Mr. Gates's property. See where the stairs are shown?
There's a wooden there are wooden pilings there as a wall. Does the other property begin at that wall?
No, begins before it. If I can put my screen back up, I can show you just briefly.
Maybe you could, 'cause I'd like to understand how it is impinging on the next property.
Yeah, so the property line runs diagonally through this lawn area.
Oh, it does. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
And so this area right here on Mr. Gates's property by
I
this,
got you.
the wall is here, although it's shown as just edge of lawn, but there's a wall here, and these
I
are
got you.
stairs going down into it.
Yeah, I didn't know the property line went through that area. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, that could, I did see it once when I was there, water. This,
We've seen some pictures of it. Jen showed me some pictures.
Yeah.
Listen did. Yeah.
I mean, this could be satisfied with some large dry well or even some sort of creating another earth berm down here, which would hold the water on the 133 property.
Well, court is suggesting that we condition this with an actual plan for that, right? Right, Courtney?
Yeah, I just, I want to see the problem resolved. That's all.
But my point is that that wouldn't be a trivial thing. I mean, we probably need an engineering solution to that, right?
To get the calculations done, we'd need something. I'd rather, if you can, I don't know, but I'd like to.
So I guess my point is, if we're going to go with Courtney's suggestion, then we'll need some solutions developed.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
In my view, I think, this is a significant enough engineering exercise to warrant a continuance rather than just submitting a plan. Because, I want to see this kind of a problem resolved because I don't think it's fair to the neighbor. And it's not fair. It's not keeping with the spirit of things.
No.
Well, I'd like to find a way if we could close on.
I'm a stickler for this stuff, as most of you on the commission know. But this is a significant enough engineering thing that I would want to have a set of eyes see it before we just stuff it into conditions that we pass on a week from now.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, again, let's go back to the old chairman, Jamie, who said, let's stay within our purview. I might have stepped outside a little bit trying to get the mitigation down there because of the flood or because of the water or the issue, just trying to help out. But here, this is way outside. We're not worried. You know, this isn't in our jurisdiction to take care of all the water problems and all the applicants that come before us. We've been out there a couple of times after Maine's big rainstorms, and there's no water down there. So that's what I have to say. Go ahead, Courtney.
I would agree. Our jurisdiction isn't to take on everybody's drainage issues throughout the town. However, this area is within our jurisdiction, and so I think it's within our area of responsibility to address this kind of stuff because it is an environmental impact.
I guess we'll tend to disagree.
Well, that's what makes the world go around.
Yep.
Steve, I see you get your hand up. You're muted, Steve.
I wanted to make a motion to close the hearing, and I believe that we've seen the results of Tom Bunker's work with staff and that they can reach a resolution to this issue so we can move forward.
Driscoll,
Thank you.
second.
All right, I got two hands. I got Bill. Did you have something?
If they're going to make a motion to close it, then I don't have anything.
Okay, excellent. Anyone else? All right. So we have a motion to close the hearing, take it under advisement. Any other comments or questions from the commission? And all right, Gates, nothing else in chat, right, Jen? We're clear there.
Nothing else in the public chat, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So I'm going to call a roll to close the hearing and take it under advisement. All right. Courtney.
Bird, no.
Steve.
Pat and I.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Dave.
Dent aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Jim.
Beth, aye.
And Robbins is an aye. So we got 6-1 to close the hearing and take it under advisement. All right. Moving on. Thank you all. Tom.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Gates.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank
Aye.
you.
All right. So we have continued hearings under an enforcement order, and the first one up we already read tonight, which has been continued, is 0 Davisville Road. Mr. Augusta at 33 Oyster Shell. I don't know why I want to say Ocean. Oyster Shell Lane, East Falmouth, is also continued. And David and Marcy Barnes at 38 Squibnocket is also continued. So we'll move on to vote orders of conditions. John and Lana Peter at 218 Meadow Neck Road, East Falmouth. Jen, can you refresh us on this one?
I'm going to ask Alyssa to do that because I was on vacation and I'm not quite sure. I haven't had time to watch the hearing since I was gone.
Alyssa.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a raise and reconstruct of a single family dwelling. The existing dwelling on the property is very small and abandoned close to the water. So they are proposing the new dwelling to be pulled back quite a ways, certainly enlarged, but there is plenty of room to mitigate once that current house has been removed. They will be pruning a little bit into the Zone A in order to remove the existing structure and to construct a proposed retaining wall with some grading in the backyard of the new structure. Staff had advised that the house be relocated towards the street a bit more because the construction of this retaining wall would remove more Zone A vegetation. It didn't seem that the commission felt that way, so the hearing was closed. All of the corrections that staff had requested, and we spoke with Chuck Rowland and Mr. Cheney. A revised plan has been submitted and all of our comments have been addressed. So we don't have anything outstanding at this time based on the hearing last week, though again, staff is advocating for keeping whatever we can of that Zone A vegetation.
All right. I know Fallon mentioned a couple things, Alyssa.
Yeah, she reviewed the revised plan and she said that it matched everything we spoke about.
Cool.
So I believe they put in either a single rail fence or more stones to help mediate that meadow area. They removed the switchgrass. We have all the correct calculations now. Switched around some of the plants. Yep.
Okay.
Alyssa, there's a note, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, there's a note on that, we're on the revised plan near the, do you have the site plan in front of you?
No, I didn't review it.
Okay.
What does it say?
It says demarcation for edge of meadow see landscape plan. So I'll just look at that, and if we have to condition that it's the shrubs and make sure that that's fine. I'm sure Fallon.
Yeah, they were advocating for the use of more of a decorative stone or boulder outline, as opposed to the typical single rail fence. Yeah, we had just advised that if the meadow is to be mowed, the idea was to have that delineation between the meadow and the mitigation, as opposed to the meadow and the lawn. I mean, they can have those there,
Right.
but that doesn't really help us in terms of the potential for mowing of the sweet fern and various other shrubs.
Yeah, I don't have the unfortunately I didn't grab the landscape plan when I left the office, so I'll just look at that and condition it appropriately. Okay, great, thank you.
Discussion? Anybody got anything else?
So the board's okay with the wall going into the existing Zone A buffer. They are restoring that Zone A buffer, correct, Alyssa?
Yes,
Yeah, they're adding that to the mitigation calculations for restoration. Okay.
Right. Well, I guess I'm looking for a motion to issue.
Oh.
To issue an order of conditions as discussed. Driscoll.
Bird second.
Motion by Ron Driscoll, issue an order of conditions, and a second by Courtney. Any other discussion amongst the commission? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to I'll call a roll. Court.
Bird eye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
David.
Kent, aye.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye. Unanimous. We issued the order conditions for 218 Meadow Neck Road. All right, other business. Discuss potential amendment to Article 17/18 of the November 2025 town meeting regarding 0 West Falmouth Highway. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, so I have received clarification, I believe that it's going to be Article 18. That's the article that pertained to the commission. So I did come to the board a few weeks ago. There was an article that was put into town meeting to put 0 West Falmouth Highway. It's a little corner parcel over by the Sippawisset Road exit off of 28 that goes into Palmer. Kind of swing back and there's that parcel in there. The parcel was acquired by the town. There is some confusion as to how, but it doesn't pertain to this discussion. It was required by the town through some sort of taking. Its original purpose was for the protection of the Long Pond water, Long Pond. It was taken with the town, so any sort of protections with that, according to the town council, disappeared at that time. The original article wanted the Conservation Commission to hold a conservation restriction on the parcel. Unfortunately, at that time, we couldn't support that petitioner's article because the law just does not allow the town to hold a conservation restriction on itself. The parcel is currently under the care and control of the select board. The select board and town meeting, both the select board voted and then town meeting voted last year to issue RFPs to develop this parcel for affordable housing. The petitioners have come back to have informed us, the commission, that their intention is to go to town meeting and make a motion, ask for an amendment to have the parcel transferred out of the care and control of the Board of Selectmen and place the parcel into the care and control of the Conservation Commission. If that happens, then I do believe the affordable housing RFP, we're not in the business of affordable housing. We're open space protection. So therefore the property would not, I don't believe, would be able to be developed for affordable housing. This is the intention of the petitioners. I do believe town meeting is going to want a response from the Concom. And it is my recommendation to the Concom just to defer to the will of town meeting. Your staff has not had the opportunity to evaluate the parcel. To our knowledge, there are no wetlands or wetland resources on the parcel that need extra protection. It is not within an area of rare species habitat, and we just haven't had the ability, haven't had the time to fully do an evaluation of the parcel. So I can't really say to support or not support the petitioner's position. At this time, I think the only thing we can do is just defer to the will of town meeting, and if town meeting wants to rescind their decision of last year and they want to place the parcel in the care and control of the Concom, so be it.
All right, Jim. Thank you. Excellent explanation.
Oh, and I just want to add that the water resource protection area overlay that is protecting Long Pond. So here's the parcel. It's over here. Long Pond is placed over here. And if you want, I can bring up a quick map if you would like.
Sure.
And let me do that. And it is outside of that resource protection district. And groundwater flows the opposite direction. So, but I just think the simplest thing would just be to defer to town meeting. I'm writing town meeting into my Google search, town of Falmouth here. And so I can bring up the parcel and then show you where the water resource protection district is. And I'll do this very quickly, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. There is the chat. Ms. Rusted, we do have all of the documentation that was provided, that was forwarded to the commission when it was provided to us. So they are well aware of the packet that was presented by the petitioners. They do have that information. All right, I'm just gonna find this real quick. Hang on, guys. Where are you, pesky little parcel? Here you are. Okay, I'm hurrying. Oops, nope. Oh, Water Resource Protection District, the coastal pond overlay. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick, guys. Share options. Okay, can you see that, guys?
It'll go,
Mr.
yep.
Chairman?
There
Okay,
you go.
so
Good
here's
enough.
the parcel. Here's Long Pond. This is the Long Pond water district overlay by the town. So if the parcel does fall outside of that. It might have been one of the original parcels acquired back in the 30s for the protection of Long Pond, but there was some action. And I don't know if it's from Route 28, the taking for the highway, or there was some sort of taking of the parcel by the town. And according to town council, whatever protections were at that time, when the taking happened, from what I understand, those protections disappeared. So it was just a vacant parcel, undeveloped parcel, under the care and control of the select board.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Thank you, Jen. Court, I saw you. I got you.
Yeah. So it's
Good.
pretty clear from what Jen put up that these two parcels that are in question essentially are orphans that were created when Route 28 the land was taken from Route 28 and extended south. In other words, essentially those parcels were part of a larger parcel that originally were acquired by the town for the watershed. Well, now, 28 has come down, carved them off, and they're sort of these orphans. And my own feeling about them is that, their value to the resource area, given Route 28, is pretty limited. So I would agree with the concept that we let town meeting decide what they want to do with it.
Thanks, Court. Bill, did you have something?
I was just going to say the same thing. Like I did what Jen did. I was taking a look at the Google Maps and looking at the parcel for a little bit and then seeing how far away. And then I would rather just let the town do it.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Dave?
Jen has first of all, what's the language that you used? The applicants or they want us to do something to take control of it. What's the word we're using?
Okay, so when the town owns land, it's called care and control. So the Conservation Commission, we're part of the town of Falmouth. The school committee, the school administration is part of the town of Falmouth. Select board, town of Falmouth. But each entity can hold property. So property under the care and control of the Concom is usually protected open space.
And so my question
we have a certain mission statement. People, parcels are placed into our care and control to keep them open space, to keep them protected for various reasons. We own the Concom. You, as a board, own more than 2,000 acres of land throughout town.
So that was my
we
question.
manage for you.
My question was, we have done that in the past. It's something we've done many times.
We own land. I can't recall, Dave, in the last 20 years when property's been taken out of the care and control of one town entity and placed into our care and control. I don't recall. It might have happened when I first started, but it hasn't happened recently.
But right now, do we have other property that's under our care and control right now?
Absolutely. You have about 2,000 acres.
Okay, so if we took on some more, that wouldn't be revolutionary then, probably.
That would what? I'm sorry?
If eventually we did take care and control of this, that would not be unprecedented to actually have control.
No.
The mechanism that which we received, it might be different, but I had no idea if we'd ever done that in the past. So I guess we have. Okay. My only other question is, it's only one parcel, isn't it? Two parcels was mentioned a minute ago. It's just one parcel, isn't it?
I believe it's the larger parcel. I maybe Courtney just said the two parcels because there's two attached parcels. I have not seen the map or the RFP. I do believe it's just the one larger parcel.
Well,
but I could be mistaken on that.
My understanding is it's a triangular parcel that you show right at the intersection of 28A and 28. And then on the other side of the road, where Old Palmer Avenue is going back towards where Erman Lovell's real estate office was and Peachtree Farm. There's a section of woodlands in there between Old Palmer Avenue and 28A, and I think that's the other part of this. You know, I'm very familiar with both of those because that's where I go to get my Christmas boughs every winter, so I'll be sorry to see them develop. But, you know, we need do need affordable housing in this town. And the fact that the land's been kind of carved off from the watershed, it renders that sort of need for that protection kind of moot by the fact that you got 28 running down there. So that's my feeling. I wouldn't have a heart attack at all seeing it affordable housing.
All right. So anyone else got anything? Comments?
There is a response. Mr. Rusted said there are precedents. Concom's has custody of a very similar parcel separated from the pond on the west side of between 28. Yes, we have owned property. Similarly, the Concom has custody of parcels to the north of the pond, both south, and she gives the property addresses, and north of Brick Hill Road, which are further from Long Pond than 0 West Falmouth Highway and 28. And not in the water map. They're West Falmouth Highway adjacent to each other. Yeah, it's the two parcels. It's the two. I think what if they're saying it's the larger parcel and the skinnier parcel next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that corner. But yes, I mean we do have. We do own land. We do have care and control of land all over town, whether it's in a water resource protection district, whether it's wetland jurisdiction, whether it's rare species habitat. We do have care and control of about, like I said, over 2,000 acres in town.
Thanks for explaining that.
I think Jen's idea of to just stay neutral on it and let town meeting make the decision. I really think that's the best way to go. I agree with everything you said, Courtney. Everything you said. And I think everybody here will agree with it, but let's let town meeting make this decision because there's no jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission here that, we have to worry about. As far as contamination of Long Pond, doesn't seem to be an issue. So I think town meeting, what we should do is just defer to town meeting on this, as Jen said, so.
That's
Do we
my
make a motion on
recommendation
that?
to the board.
So should we make a motion just to let town meeting take it up?
Yeah, we can make a motion.
Then I will make the
I'll
motion
second
right
that.
now to
If
let
we have a
town
little
meeting do it.
discussion, I'll throw my 2 cents worth in.
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. Good job. Good.
First motion.
Yeah, so
Open it up
I
to discussion.
think it's I
Courtney.
think I-
Good
question.
What do you got?
okay.
Courtney, what do you got? You said
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if a compelling case could be made that this land was essential for the protection of a watershed, I'd have a different opinion. But I
Okay.
think geography shows that it's not.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Alyssa, did you have something? I caught you with a hand up.
Thank you for the motion, Bill.
My affirmative to court.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call a roll. So I think the discussion, everybody's good with the discussion and the motion that Bill put on the table. Very
Yep.
good. So I'm going to call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I, and thank you, staff, for clarifying. There are 11 West Falmouth highways.
Sorry about that, Steve.
Ron,
Briscoe, aye.
Dave,
Can't I?
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is aye. So it's unanimous. Jen will write it up, and when you do that, could you send a copy to each one of the commissioners or what you're?
Absolutely. I'll prepare a statement on behalf of the board.
Somebody has issues, please.
Simple
Yeah.
statement on behalf of the commission to to address any of town meetings, or any of the precinct meetings. The reason this needed to be on your agenda tonight is that we started precinct meetings for town meeting this week, and, it was important to have a statement from the Concom. Okay.
Very
Well,
good.
Jim, thank you for joining us this evening. Again, Concom 101, you and
Yeah.
myself and staff. Ron, go have fun in Bermuda.
I'll try. I have a few more days.
Okay.
It's pretty late here right now.
Well, I think Jim should make the motion to adjourn. How's that?
Motion to
I'll make that
adjourn.
motion.
I second it.
So we have a motion and a second to adjourn.
Bird eye.
Robbins.
Good night.
Risk
Duffy, aye.
Anti.
We are adjourned.
Anti.